Go over how to do the morning work quiz on Fridays. It looks a little different than it has, but I think we've figured out a way to get this to work better. So when you click on your assignment, you should come up with a red line, and that is a link. You're going to click the link, and then you will be able to fill out the form just like you did before with your first name and last name. And then you click the next button and it will give you a question. So today's question is 67 students were given a field trip permission form for Legoland. 14 students did not turn in their field trip form and have to stay at school. How many students went on the field trip? Well, if we know 67 were given a field trip form and 14 did not bring it back, we need to find out 67 minus 14. So I'm going to go over on my paper and I'm going to write that down and get my answer. Go ahead and try that. 67 minus 14. And I got 53. And it's a story problem, so I need to put my label on there. Then I'm going to hit the next button and it's going to take me to the next group. The next group of questions is just addition, subtraction, facts. 8 plus 7. We're practicing our basic facts this week on our morning work. 9 plus 5. Now I encourage you, if you don't know the answers, to work them out on another piece of paper. 12 minus 7. And I have to scroll down some. If you don't see the next button, scroll down. 16 minus 8. And now on this question, we're talking about shapes, and you have to answer each question. So it says shape A. So I'm going to look up here at shape A, and I know that that is a cube. Shape B, what is this shape? You can look on your template. Shape B is a trapezoid. Shape C is also on your template, and that is a parallelogram. And shape D has 5 sides, and it's a pentagon. Then I'm going to hit my next button. Now I have some place value questions. Place value questions. 100 is how many tens? If I count by 10, how many do I have to count to get to 100? Right, 10. If I count by ones, how many do I have to count to get to 100? 100. And then I hit my next. And now I'm reviewing expanded form. Expanded form, remember we stretch the word out, the numbers out to 600. Plus 70 plus 8. And then the next one is word form. I'm supposed to write, actually I just have to choose the word form for this number. If I say the number 678, then I just look for those words. Now, it's very important when we're saying numbers, we don't say 678. And in math, when we say that, means change or a decimal point. So we don't put the and in there. And since it is 78, we do need a dash in there. So we're going to choose that one. That one's a little bit tricky because they all have the same words. They just put and in there, and one of them has the dash and one of them does not. Now the next part are patterns. we have to look at the numbers and see what is the pattern. 817, 822, 827. What would come next? So I'm going to look at 817, and I'm going to count up to 822. 818, 819, 820, 821, 822. That's 5 more. So I'm going to check the next one. I'm going to start at 822 and count up. 823, 824, 825, 826, 827, and it was 5 again. So now I need to count up from 827, 5, 827, 828, 829, 830, 831, 832. So my answer is going to be 832. Then I'm going to go to the next one. And I notice that my hundreds are changing, but my tens and ones are not. So I'm going by 100, 423, 523, 623, 723. So my next number would be 823. Now the next one's a little bit tricky because it's the first number that's missing. So we're going to have to go backwards a little bit. But we can look over here and see this is 602, 612, 622. So I can see that my only digit that's changing is the tens place, and it's going up 1. But my digit here is a 0. How do I go back 1 10? I think I could count backwards from 602 10 times. Or I could go back from 0, and I know that's 9, and I'm going to have to, if I go back 10, I'm going to get in the 500s. So I would have a 5 and a 9, and the ones place stays the same each time, so it would be 592. The next part is about tools that you use to measure. What would be best to measure the length of a book? Well, we use a ruler, which is a little bit shorter, a yardstick, which is about how long, if you spread your arms out and put your hands, it would be from hand to hand, and a meter stick is almost the same as a yardstick. So which one of those things would be best to measure a book? A ruler is a little smaller, and books are kind of small, so we would probably use a ruler. If we were using something bigger, if we were measuring like the length of the room, we might use a yardstick or meter stick. The next question is on telling time, and we are working on telling time this week in math, so you're going to look at the clock. Remember, the shorthand is the hour and comes first. So the shorthand is pointing to the 3. So 3, this is the only one that has a 3 in it. So I'm going to choose that for now. But then I'm going to look at the longhand. Remember, the longhand is minutes. And it doesn't really mean 12. This is 0 minutes. And as we move around, we count by 5s on the clock. So we would be 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 for our minutes, our longhand. But since it's at the 12, that is the o'clock, so this is 3 o'clock. We click next again, and we have a measuring to the nearest inch. If we go down here and we look, it's past the 9 quite a bit and a little closer to the 10, so I would click on this arrow down and choose 10 inches. And the last question says, if I partition, and remember partition means to cut into pieces, a rectangle into 3 rows and 4 columns, how many pieces will there be? Well, the best way to do this is to go over on a piece of paper, make a rectangle, and cut it into 3 rows and 4 columns and count the pieces. And if I do that, I'm going to get 12 pieces. And when I'm all done and I click submit, it says, my response has been recorded. I'm all done. I don't have to go back into my assignments, I can just go here. I can click submit assignment. That lets me know that it's all done. Actually, you don't even have to do that. You just finish and then you can click out of that assignment and go back to your Canvas homepage.